morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. It is Monday. I don't know what date it is, but I know it's Monday. So, happy Monday. So, today, I'm going to talk about my beliefs because someone asked me what my beliefs are. And I responded to the person. It was on a YouTube video. I responded to the person and asking them, what do they mean by that? And I didn't get a response. And so I understood why I didn't get a response. So that's why I thought I would make a video instead of responding to the question, because responding to the question in written form. So yeah, I'll just leave that at that. Why is my phone all cray? It's all wobbly. Hold on a second, I'm trying to get it straight. Alright, so my beliefs. What do I believe? Oh gosh, I believe so many different things. At first, I was thinking to myself, it really doesn't matter what I believe. It really doesn't matter what my beliefs are. And then I was thinking about it as I was putting on my socks this morning, and I thought, well, actually, my beliefs do matter. I mean, it does matter what your beliefs are. It matters what my beliefs are, because our beliefs make up who we are. But I believe the reason why I was getting a little bit distracted is because I understood the question, or I understood where the question was coming from. And that part I'm not in agreement with. I do not believe in subscribing to a belief because for like a religious belief or any kind of group belief, organizational belief, things like that, because people align themselves with things without using discernment. They just have it in their mind that, hey, this is what they believe in. They have something good going on. Let me believe that. And I don't believe in that. What I do believe is that I am capable of change. I believe that I can become a better person. I believe that law of attraction is a real thing. I believe that I do create my reality. I believe that I have complete power over my existence, my experiences. I have a belief that we can improve ourselves at any given time. I have a belief that there is so much more for me to experience. And the thing is, whatever beliefs that I have, they're not mine. I'm just aligning myself with the truth. That's all I'm doing. I'm simply believing the truth. And that's why it was difficult for me to respond to the question at first, because I was looking at it from their perspective. But what I needed to do was just look at it from how I'm living my life, because I'm not making up the beliefs that I have, and I'm just aligning myself with truth. The truth is, this isn't the truth is, this isn't where's my screen dark? This isn't how we were meant to live. That's the truth. And because I know that truth, now I have to seek out other truths to get me to the absolute truth, to get me to the place where we were intended to be. That's it. That's what my beliefs are. And I try to do any and everything to find out what those are. And it doesn't take a lot of work, but it can take a lot of work if you're not in harmony with, if that's really not your desire. This stuff is like becoming a better person, improving your life and changing. That stuff is hard. It is so hard if you're not in alignment with it. If you're not really looking to change, but you want change, which is what most people want, that is one of the most difficult and painful existences to live. It really is. It is awful. It is awful. And some of you should know it because you're doing it. You want things to change, but you're unwilling to change. You want everything else to change around you. You want people to stop treating you like an asshole. You want people to stop taking advantage of you. You want people to give you opportunities. You want people to look at you. You want people to feel that you're worth something. Like, you want everyone else around you to change, but the one person that needs to change in order for those things to happen, they won't change. They don't want to do it. So when that question was asked of me, I automatically knew it wasn't because there was a desire for change to happen within themselves. They were just looking for a belief so they can get on board with it if there's something that they like within my videos, and it doesn't work that way. That's no different than lighting up and saying, oh, hey, you say you're gonna, so, you know, in my videos I say, you know, how I'm feeling. I talk about how my life has changed. I talk about how my external experiences have changed. I talk about how my internal experiences have changed, meaning I talk about my calmness and the peace that I have versus what I had 5 years ago, especially 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Like, it's completely different. And so I understand someone can listen to those things and the same way as they could listen to a religious something, whatever kind of religion is out there. It's like, oh yeah, you know, life is better and God loves you, blah, 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 blah. Whatever spiel they throw out there. You know, it's like, okay, well, like even Jehovah's Witnesses, great example. You know, they come knocking on your door saying, hey, you know, you can have this. You can have everlasting life. You can be in a paradise. You can do this. You can do that. And you're like, okay, great. What are the beliefs? Tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to believe in order for that to happen. And it's not about just the beliefs. That's why I was so hesitant to, you know, really respond. And I was like, well, let me just make a video because the whole beliefs thing. Do I need to put on my Versace's? So let me get them ready because the sun is bright today. It is bright. So, you know, it's like, it's not about just believing in something. I mean, like, I have family members who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and they believe in the religion. They believe in doing X, Y, and Z. They believe in taking actions. They believe in, and the thing is, like, beliefs, I mean, it's like splitting hairs almost, but it is different. When you have something that you believe in, meaning you can believe in a set of rules, I should say that. You can believe in a set of rules. You can believe in the law. People who get into law, they believe in the law. They live by the law. They swear by the law. But that doesn't mean that they're going to abide by it. It means it's something that they like the sound of. They like the idea of structure. They like the idea of the, oh Lord, yeah, that is bright. Oh my goodness. They like the idea of having rules to live by, and that's how Jehovah's Witnesses live by their religion. There are a set of rules or a set of do's and don'ts. They're all actions or inactions that you engage in. But the reason why there's a lot of suffering within that religion, and you can look it up and find it, there's all kinds of things going on with them. And the reason why that is because though they may believe in certain things, they don't have the intent to back it up. The intent behind it. It's like, okay, so you're supposed to, it says, okay, so you're supposed to, what is one of the things? I don't know. It's been so long since I've listened to people. What is a Jehovah's Witness belief that is door to door? That's something that they believe in. If they go and spread the word, then to people, then that's their path to the paradise or whatever. If they call Jehovah, there's another one. If they call God Jehovah, then that's a belief that if they just do that, then they're basically saved. And that's all. That's really what they believe in. They have to recognize Jehovah by his name in order to have any kind of salvation or something, or like something like that. And another thing is, in order to have everlasting life, you have to be in the religion. That's another belief. But these are all actions. But what's the intent behind it? There really isn't. It's just actions get this result. Actions get this result. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. But they don't understand that the intent is part of the cause, which is creating their effect. And so, though they have their eye on this prize, that can't happen if they don't have the proper intent behind it. Because you can live a Jehovah's Witness life and have positive, loving intent behind it, and you'll be okay. That's not the problem. Isn't the religion? It's the feeling. It's the intent behind it. What is your intent? That's, are you doing it to be loving? Are you just doing it because you feel you're better because you do it? Because that happens. There are some people who believe just because they're a Jehovah's Witness that they're going to be saved. And meanwhile, they're doing all kinds of evil things. They're doing all kinds of evil, backstabbing, underhanded things in the background that they don't talk about. Trust me, I know. My whole family is Jehovah's Witnesses. I see the things that go on in the background. And you would question if they were really a Jehovah's Witness, because the things that they claim they don't do. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what beliefs you have. What matters is your intent. So you can, just look, you have all these people who are talking about, on these YouTube videos, they're talking about, oh, you can manifest $1 million, but they haven't manifested $1 million. It's like, yeah, do this for $1 million. This is why I don't do those things. And like, okay, if you want to do this, the only things I talk about are really the things that I've achieved myself, or the things that I've recognized within myself. Those are the only things I talk about. Now, the day that I do manifest $1 million, that's when I will talk about that. That's when I'll be able to say, this is how you do it. But it's just because you believe that it can be done doesn't mean that you believe it can happen. You can, all the tools can be given. You can tell someone how to do it. But the thing is, if you tell somebody how to do it and you can't do it, there's a component that's missing. So it's not the belief. It's not like, okay, just, close your eyes and in the morning say, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, I want $1 million. Just keep believing that you have $1 million, you have $1 million, you have $1 million. You can keep repeating yourself over and over and over again. But like I said, if there's something within you, the intent isn't pure. Meaning, if you're trying to get $1 million and you're trying to get $1 million because you hate being broke, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. You have to have the intent. It must be pure, and it must not be born from lack. It must not be born. It's like you want to grow something to eat, but you're growing a cactus. It's going to take a lot of work in order for you to get past all the thorns, because that's what you grew. It cannot be born from lack. You cannot create something that you want that's going to make you happy. Or I should say, you can't desire something that you want that's going to make you happy, but yet you grow something that's going to create a lot of work, a lot of pain. And that's what most people do. Instead of getting the easy, they're getting the difficult. And it's because it's born from the difficult. And that's a belief of mine, because it's a fact. It's a truth. And so all of my beliefs that I'm aware of in the moment are geared towards truth, are stemming from truth. But there's a lot of subconscious beliefs, if that's what you want to call it, or trauma that cause me to believe other things. But the conscious ones, the ones that I'm aware of, my beliefs are based in truth, which help me to identify what the subconscious beliefs are. Anytime I have a negative thought towards someone, anytime I get irritated, like the other day I was driving and the car was in my way and I honked my horn, it's like I have to become aware of that. And I immediately, as I did it, I became aware of what I did. And as I was talking, as I was making the video, I was also in the background thinking about why it happened. Like, I remember there was a red car, I don't know if it was the last video or the video before. I was like, come on, I was getting off on Arlington. And the thing is, I got in the shorter lane because I thought it would be faster. Because the long lane, the lane with all the cars, I figured it would be longer just to get in the short lane and have someone stop. And I couldn't go, and that irritated me because I had my desire was attached to the outcome of me just moving along, passing everybody in the long lane. And that didn't happen, and that irritated me. And in that moment, I understood I made a decision that wasn't that great. It still turned out okay, but I don't think it would have if I wasn't being aware of what was going on. And they inched up a little bit, just enough for me to get by. But as soon as I honked my horn, I immediately knew what I did. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, one of my beliefs is to become aware of myself in the moment, real time. Sometimes it takes people, hindsight is like a long time from now. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's years, maybe it's a couple of weeks, maybe it's a day, maybe it's a few hours. I try to be aware of myself real time. As I'm living, and this doesn't happen all the time, but it happens most of the time where I'm aware of what I'm doing. Unless I'm at home and I'm in a groove. But home is the one place where I'm not really aware. I'm more aware when I'm out and about. But when I'm at home, that's different because your home is a familiar place. Home is where you get into the groove and it's like autopilot. You know what to do, you kind of know your routine, you can do things without thinking because this is part of the routine. And so I'm not as aware as I should be with my thoughts, because that's where I'm in a relaxed state and I should be aware of my thoughts even more. But like I said, sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's not. It really depends. But it really has to do with your desire. What is your desire? Do you want to become more aware? Do you want to become a better person? And I want to become a better person. I don't want to stay where I am right now. I want to be better than what I am right now. And the reason why that is because I already have a taste of it. I know what less stress is, what it feels like, how good it feels. Not, having a life where you're not worrying, you're not stressed out. All of this, I like it. So I know I can improve and get even better results. But in order to do that, I have to become more aware, more conscious of the things that I've already become aware of. My awareness must increase. My desire to be better must increase. It's not just about, having a belief. Ooh, see? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So yeah, those are my beliefs. I just believe that I can be better. I believe that we all can. There isn't any reason why we can't, other than the reason that we give ourselves. Because we can erase all those reasons to not be better and just become better. Or we can just hold on to the things that keep us where we are, or that degrade our experience even more. The choice is ours, and that's another belief, because it's another truth. The choice is ours. We do have free will, and we're using it every single day. You use free will to sit on your butt, or you use free will to get up and do something. It's all free will. It's all being used. So that's what I'm saying. My beliefs are just based in truths. That's it. And that's the only way I was able to improve my life. That's the only way. The only way. I had to use my free will. I had to understand that I have a choice. And most people don't feel they have a choice. They don't feel they have a choice. And so they keep making the same one over and over and over again. And I guess when you live, a jacked up life long enough, you do come to believe this falsehood of everything's going to remain the same. I try and try and try. And of course people try, but they try going against their soul, not understand that their soul dominates. So if you try, the try cannot just be of the mind. Your trying must be on a soul level. Like, you have to believe that you can do it. It can't be a try with the mind, but you keep the soul the same. You have to recognize what's in the soul, because that's the one thing you have to change, is the soul. What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Do you believe that it's possible? Do you believe it's hard? Do you believe life sucks? What do you believe? What do you believe? Meaning, what do you feel? What do you feel is possible? What do you feel is an absolute? Do you believe that you will change? Is that an absolute? It's an absolute for me. I know that for a fact. For myself, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will change. Which direction I change? Well, it's only upward for me. That's the only belief that I hold. There is no going back. There is no going downward. There is no regressing. There's none of that. And only because I'm aware of how I feel in the moment, how I think, how I feel towards things, all of these things allow for upward movement, for progression. That is not an option for me. That is not even a thought. Because I already got a taste of going forward, moving forward, improving myself, having a better experience. Everything is only upward from here. That's it. That's my belief. But it's also a universal fact. Because I believe it, that's what's going to be. Not just believe it, but I feel it. I know it. Just as sure as I can see the tree, I know that there is upward movement. That's one of my beliefs. That's what I know. It's already done. It is already done. Smells like cat piss out here. It smells like cat piss out here. Being truthful. I believe in that. I believe in honoring my feelings, honoring how I feel towards things, honoring where those come from, acknowledging it. Where does the doubt come from? Where does the unworthiness come from? I believe in all of that. Acknowledging it. Owning it. Understand that to be a truth in my life. Meaning understand that experience to be an experience that I have experienced. But meaning admitting it. Acknowledging it. Not denying it. And then once you do that, or once I do that, I can move forward, because now I know that is an experience of the past. Understand that's where the pain comes from, and that's where it needs to stay. It doesn't need to affect my current life. And the thing is, like, you can do one of two things. You can think positively, and try to improve your life, and not do anything on an emotional level, because your thoughts will generate different feelings within your being. But just understand that your soul will creep up and kind of stain whatever you're trying to create for yourself. Or you can release the emotional injuries from back in the day, remove them completely, while trying to improve your life and have better thoughts. You can do both. And then whatever you create will remain. But if you just use your thoughts to suppress and focus on the good, kind of like what Abraham does. Abraham says to focus on the good, but you can't get rid of the wobble. The wobble will always be there. Now it may not be as intense, because your wobble is coming from your past in conjunction with your present thoughts about the wobble. And this is how you get a double whammy. There was someone who I used to talk to on Facebook all the time, and he used the word wobble. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Wobble. There's a song called Wobble. And he kept saying, how come the wobble keeps coming? How come the wobble keeps coming? It's because the bad experience happens, meaning you try to make something work, everything's going fine, and then something bad happens. Okay, fine. Allow that to be what it is. But what happens is he gets his thoughts on board, focusing on it, and then the feelings jump on board, and you're really messed up. And that's how that happens. So you give yourself a double whammy when you don't really need to do that. But that's part of what a degraded soul does. It not only incurs harm via the soul, but it creates more via the thought and the feelings. So we have to be mindful of that. Mindful. Don't give yourself a double whammy. Just get the bad experience. Understand that that's the message, that's the lesson. And then that's it. And that's all you have to do. Get the message. Get the message. Get the message. Get the lesson. Get the message. Get the lesson. Get the lesson. Get the message. Just get it. Because once you get it and don't just get it and put it aside. That's like getting a letter in the mail and just dumping it to the side, And then you wonder why you keep getting these notices up, because you didn't open the first one and read it and understand what was going on, and understand the actions that need to be taken within your being. Like, I don't always know what's going on if there's something happening to my physical body. That's why I have that book. The soul is the barometer the body is the barometer to the soul. Like, if something happens, I look it up. What's going on here? I look it up. So I have a better understanding as to what I need to focus on. Obviously, we weren't taught these things. If we were taught these things, I wouldn't need a book. None of us would. And we would get the message so quick and clear, we wouldn't need anything else, because we would understand immediately what we're doing in the moment to cause whatever it is that we're experiencing. But I'm not there, and so that's why some of the things I do believe in that. I believe in learning. I believe in expansion. I believe in knowing more, understanding more. I do believe in that. It's not just, I learned it one time, that's it. No, that doesn't benefit anybody. To learn it one time and never put anything into practice. 701. Let's see. Let's go over here, see if it changes. 701. Is it changing? Is it not changing? No. Stay right here. Alright, well, I'll stay right here. So, what was I saying? I believe in expansion and learning more, doing more for myself. I believe in free will. I understand the free will. That's a belief of mine. Meaning, I recognize that people get to do whatever it is they want to do. I recognize that they don't need any of my input if they don't ask for it. It's like the person that I was talking to who had the attitude in the meeting in my last couple of videos or whatever. When just this morning, it just hit me. And I'm not sure why it just hit me like that, but it did. But the thing that came to mind was, you know what? I don't deserve to be treated like that. And the thing is, it would be unloving to myself and unloving to that person to continue to interact with them on a personal level. Because number one, I'm sustaining their behavior, and number two, I'm putting myself in the line of fire, or in a place for where there's a potential for fire. How's that? And so because I already know where this person is, and I understand why this person did what they did, because it didn't have anything to do with me. I have helped this person with their life, their personal life, all the stuff that's going on, to the point where I recommended therapy. They went to therapy. They were excited. So there was no reason why I should have received that from that person, because I didn't do anything to that person. But I understand that person can't help themselves because they're too degraded. Their problems are too great to take care of something that's helping them, which is no different than someone's body. The person's degradation when it's too great, when their soul is too degraded, they cannot take care of their body, even though their body is allowing them to have the experience. So whether they do drugs, they drink, they smoke, they daredevil and do all these crazy things, they or they make, you know, unloving decisions, degrading their soul, degrading their body, like all these things, like a degraded soul can't take care of themselves. So a degraded soul can't take care of something nice. You see people who get brand new cars and they just don't give a rat's whatever about it. You know, you give them a nice apartment or a nice house and they just tear it up. You know, they got roaches all over the place, food all over the place. They don't clean themselves, their bodies. They, you know, it's like they don't care. And that's what a degraded soul is. And so I understand that this person cannot help themselves at all because their soul is too degraded. So their soul is too degraded to care about me, obviously, because their soul is too degraded to care about themselves. The person isn't looking for approval, but yet they're looking for approval. But the thing is, I can't sustain that anymore. I was willing to be, you know, I shouldn't say I was willing to be a kind, loving person. I was willing to help someone who said they needed help. But once it's like, you know, why would you bite the hand that feeds you? And that's what she did. And so, would I do it again? You have to show some improvement. I've given you what I can, but now you're going to have to get it from somewhere else because you can't get it from here anymore. And that's one of the things that I've learned. That's another belief that I have, is like, you have to respect people's free will. And sometimes they don't understand why they make their choices, which is why it's imperative for you to know, to understand why people are doing the things they do. But before you can do that, you'll have to understand why you are doing the things that you do. And that means you can learn from them, or you can learn from yourself, or whatever, but just learn from somewhere. You're being presented with it all over the place. Whether it's someone interacting and you're not involved in the interaction, or it's you interacting with someone, there's lessons to be had all over the place. And that's what I try to do. I try to look at everybody's situation. If it's happening in front of me, I try to look at it, understand it, what's going on, and then I look at him like, do I do that? Have I done that? Because I can understand how someone is feeling, what their thoughts are, why they're doing it, and then I apply it to myself. Have I done that? Yep. Do I feel that way? Yep. I understand exactly why they're saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing. And then I can use that to fix myself, because that's all I want to do, is just fix what is broken. We were all given a hand to play, but we don't have to keep those cards. We can change them out, trade them out, and have a better hand. Have a winning hand. But again, that's another belief, only because that is a possibility. It's a potential. The question is, do you want that one, or do you want to keep the one that you have? It's all a choice. It's all a choice. All a choice. More and more, I'm beginning to be more comfortable. And it's just, when I say comfortable, I am beginning to be more allowing in terms of other people, what they desire, why they do the things that they do, why they gravitate towards the things that they gravitate towards, like all of that stuff. It has nothing to do with me, but I was raised to have a concern. I was raised, and so any other way other than the way that I was taught is wrong, and that is wrong. And so now it's like, if someone wants to destroy themselves, I have to be okay with them destroying themselves, because I can't control that. That is beyond my scope. I cannot control anything. You can do whatever you want to do. I can do whatever I want to do, and this is what I choose to do. I choose to leave people alone. More and more. I don't do it completely, because there's judgments that still come up, and as they come up, I feel it. I feel the discord. I feel just the uneasiness within myself, and that lets me know, hey, you're on the wrong path, you're on the wrong track, you got the wrong thought, you got the wrong feeling. That's what I recognize, but I had to become more sensitive to my own feelings. I couldn't remain disconnected from my feelings. And that's another, thing you would want to acknowledge, that your feelings do guide you. They guide you. They're designed to guide you. They're put within your soul so you can be guided. That's why they're there. The soul has all the feelings, all the emotions. Your feelings are coming from your soul, not your mind. Your mind, sometimes your mind can't even, well, you should know that by now, that you cannot control your reactions, your what do they call them, reflex reactions, how you react right away. You can't control those. You have to catch them with your mind. You have to stop it, suppress it. Your soul is the one that's responding to everything. Your mind is doing what it believes to be damage control. But your soul is doing what it needs to do naturally. That's what it's doing, it's showing you. So there's another belief you can take. But yeah, beliefs, I mean, they're kind of they're kind of worthless if you don't have the intent behind it, What's the intent? Like, some people will have the intent of trying to understand someone. A psychologist will have the intent to understand why people do the things that they do. But their intent isn't to help to use that information to improve themselves. And that's my intent. My intent is to improve myself at all costs. To use any and every example that I can to improve myself. And so that's why I like to become aware of all these different things, so that I can give myself the opportunity to change. Because that is my primary intent, to change. To not change for the worse, but to change for the better. And that means I have to use every single thing that is available to me. And it's not all about the positive thoughts. It's about looking at the painful ones. Looking at the angry ones. It's about looking at everything. If I'm going to use everything in order to improve myself, I have to look at everything to improve myself. I don't just focus on the positive. And it's not good to just focus on the negative either. Use all of it. Use the good things as the potentials to be, and look at the bad things or the painful things as the things that are keeping you from the positive potentials. That's how you use everything to your benefit. Use everything in love. Love yourself by looking at everything, looking at your whole being. What are you dissatisfied with? What do you desire? What are you dissatisfied with? What do you desire? What are you dissatisfied with? Because if you can look at what your experiences are, your dissatisfied experiences, then now you know what is keeping you, because everything that you can think of or feel that is painful or negative, that is something that's preventing you from having a positive experience. That's how you keep yourself from having the positive experience. And it's like I said, it's not, anything difficult. You just have to desire that. That has to be your primary desire. Otherwise, your desire is going to be what you fall back on. Ooh, they have the 2019. No, they don't. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. That's what I wanted to, say. So happy. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I went to bed so late. What time I go to bed? 11:30. Wake up at 4. Jeez. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you guys later. All right. Bye now.